Red Flag Radio.
We see the signs.
Okay, Marcus. I walked in here today with coffee, a notebook, and a grudge.
A grudge? Against who?
Against a man named Dick. I'm not making that up. That is the name we are working with today.
You have not even told the audience what the story is yet, and you are already pre-seasoned.
I am marinated, Marcus. I am fully brined.
Welcome to Red Flag Radio, everybody. Clearly, we are getting right into it.
So today's post is over on r/true off my chest, picked up by r/best of Redditor updates. The title alone is a whole 3-act play.
Hit me.
My brother tried to pull a fast one on his wife, and she did an Uno reverse, and I am laughing, watching him scramble.
Okay, the narrator is already the brother's sibling, popcorn in hand.
And the direct quote that hooked me, the OOP says, "I told her he is going to mess this up." Past tense. They saw it coming.
So the psychological hook is really, how do you sit across from your own brother and already know he is the villain of the story?
Right, because the sibling is not surprised. That is the tell.
Okay, set the board. Who are we dealing with?
Dick and Anna. Failing marriage. OOP pegs it as 99% Dick's fault. Anna is a stay-at-home mom, taking online college classes, and she runs an MLM on the side.
An MLM. We will come back to that, because I think it matters more than it looks.
Oh, it matters enormously. Flag that. Dick, meanwhile, does the bare minimum parenting. The post says he wants a medal for watching the kids for 30 minutes while Anna cooks dinner.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That is not co-parenting. That is a guest appearance.
Write that down. That is our first pattern, the invisible labor trap. Anna is doing everything. The kids, the house, the cooking, the degree, the side business. And Dick thinks half an hour of supervision deserves a parade.
And I want to be fair here. Some guys genuinely do not see it. They grew up in households where...
Marcus,
What?
you are doing the charitable thing again. You are 3 minutes in and you are already building him a ramp.
I am contextualizing.
You are contextualizing a man named Dick. Read the room.
Fine. No ramp. Continue.
So Anna's MLM has a big convention. She has been planning a staycation at a hotel with her MLM friends for months. Months, Marcus. This is not a whim.
And Dick promised to take time off work to handle the kids.
Promised. She asked again at Christmas. He said, and I quote the post, "Ya, ya, ya."
Oh no.
Ya, ya, ya is not a yes. Ya, ya, ya is a man trying to end a conversation.
Right, that is dismissive language. That is please stop talking language.
Exactly. And then, day of the convention, Dick texts Anna. "Work emergency. Has to fly out Wednesday. So sorry. Hands are tied."
The classic cover, work emergency. It is the adult version of the dog ate my homework.
And here is where it gets good. Anna finds out he is lying. He had a suitcase packed. He was taking his own vacation.
Wait,
Wait is right.
he was not just flaking. He was going somewhere.
He was going somewhere fun while she went to her convention. He had this planned.
So this is pattern 2, and this is the one that actually makes my jaw tighten. This is not spontaneous selfishness. This is calculated deception.
Months in advance. He said "ya, ya, ya" at Christmas, knowing full well he had a suitcase in the closet with his name on it.
That is a different crime than just being a bad partner. That is premeditated.
And here's the line from the post that killed me. Dick was, quote, waiting with a suitcase. Waiting. Like the betrayal was on a schedule.
Dick really thought he was James Bond. Probably had a playlist called Freedom Vibes. Man thought he was heading to Cabo while Anna was slinging protein shakes. Now Anna's got the debit card, and he's vacationing at the Wi-Fi zone of consequences. Okay, I will stop ramp building. That is cold.
Thank you.
So what does Anna do? Because the title promised an Uno reverse, and I need it.
Anna takes control of the finances and the assets. All of it. And now Dick is, per OOP, scrambling.
And the top comment on the thread, I love this, says, "Bold choice leaving all your shit with someone you just majorly pissed off."
Chef's kiss. Because think about it. He packed a bag. He did not pack the joint account. He did not pack the house. He walked out thinking she would be too overwhelmed to do anything but cry.
He underestimated her. Which brings me back to the MLM.
Please, unpack it.
Look, MLMs are a mess. We are not endorsing the business model. But what an MLM often gives a Sam is three things Dick probably sneered at: a social network outside the house, a crash course in basic finance and sales, and a sense of her own competence.
And he mocked all three of those. I guarantee it.
Which is the irony. The thing he dismissed is the exact infrastructure that let her see the betrayal clearly and move fast.
Her friends probably helped her think. Her side income probably gave her a baseline of financial literacy. And her confidence from the convention prep probably made her go, "No, actually, I am not going to cry about this."
Pattern 4. The Uno reverse is not revenge. It is self-protection.
Yes, thank you. Because I know somewhere out there, a comment section is calling her vindictive.
She is not being vindictive. She is being a person who just learned her partner lies to her face, and she is making sure he cannot drain the accounts on his way out.
That is risk management.
Okay, I have to ask the uncomfortable question. Oop, the sibling. Are they a reliable narrator?
Ooh, go.
Because they are clearly gleeful. They say they are laughing watching him scramble. That is not a neutral witness.
True. But I actually think gleeful siblings are often the most reliable ones. They have known him his whole life. They are not guessing at his character. They are reporting it.
Fair. And Oop's prediction? I told her he is going to mess this up. That lands because it came before the mess. They called it.
A sibling who saw this coming is a sibling who has watched Dick be Dick for 30+ years.
Okay, last pattern. The marriage. Is it over?
Marcus. He packed a suitcase and lied to her face so he could go on vacation while she worked. The marriage ended the day he bought that plane ticket. Anna is just doing the paperwork.
I think you are right. Scrambling is not the sound of a man trying to save a relationship. It is the sound of a man realizing consequences exist.
And that is why I love this post. It is not a story about a breakup. It is a story about a woman discovering her own leverage.
And a man discovering that yeah has an expiration date.
Put that on a shirt.
All right, takeaways. If your partner's answer to an important question sounds like they're trying to end the conversation, that is not a yes. That is a note.
If someone builds a life where you do everything, and they contribute 30 minutes of help, that is not a marriage. That is staffing.
And if you are going to betray the person who knows where all your assets are, maybe do not leave your assets with them.
That is the free legal advice portion of the show.
Not legal advice.
Not legal advice. That's the show, everyone. If you have a story where someone learned the hard way that yeah is not consent to disappear, send it in.
Be kind to the Annas in your life. Be suspicious of the Dicks.
Especially the ones with suitcases. Good night, everybody.
Red Flag Radio.
We see the signs.